Next one, I would like invite Mr. Nripal Adhikary. I know Nripal is one of famous green architects and work in Nepal as a founder for the Adhikary, which is take care for the environment and for the green architectures. And he will share his talk about how to using the bamboo became the major industry in Nepal. Let us welcome for the report.
Mr. Nripal, please speak.
Very useful.
Mr. Nripal, we can see your sharing now. You can speak now.
Thank you. So, so let's start on my presentation. As everyone said, you know, this organization called it's a architecture design and build organization, and we primarily focus on bamboo and how to make it a contemporary material. So, so yeah, my name is Nripal Adhikary. So I am from the video text. I'm situated between India and India and China, two of the biggest bamboo producers. And because of this overlap, we also have lots of bamboo in Nepal, bamboo that you find in Indonesia, all the way to temperate bamboo that you find in Thailand, China. And then we also, there's a huge tradition of building with these materials in our construction. The next slide here. See, I have a lot of traditional architecture, vernacular architecture that uses these materials. And according to our survey, government census, 70% of our architecture is still built with these local materials. And unfortunately, there's very little interest in preserving or promoting or finding sustainable ways of building. And if you remember, about 5 years ago, there was a huge earthquake, and there are many of the buildings that's got damaged. But the buildings that were built with bamboo and earth or the traditional materials were survived the earthquake. You know, here are some of the examples, the photos that you see. And we've been building since 2006, and before when we built, there's very little interest in bamboo building because people thought it was not very safe material, even though the records from other countries show the otherwise. So what we are doing our part to promote this material. Before I start, go further, I want to show you a picture of a bamboo bridge. This is from 1857. The bamboo was a vernacular traditional material. Everybody was using it for building construction, for bridges. So the power of construction was localized, in so to say. Like, so every villager, if they wanted a bridge, they could use bamboo and they could build a structure. But with the advent of steel and with high regulation, our industry, bamboo tradition was, neglected. So, and then now we have like these bridges which are made of steel, and which is not very safe, and it's not affordable for many people. And this happens all over Nepal. Like, there's one cable and people are crossing a river and there are a lot of deaths that are happening. So what we are advocating is that we need to revive or promote these traditional materials because they can address a lot of infrastructural needs that people have. And it would be fanciful to think like we can build bridges out of steel or concrete, because the infrastructure of the country is very difficult. There's 2/3 of the country is made up of mountains. So to get the infrastructure out there is not easy. And here's I show in the next slide like the amount in the whole of country. There's only 17% cement penetration. So most of the buildings are made with bamboo, earth, wood, and other traditional materials. In 2015 earthquake, it showed even concrete buildings like the ones you saw here is collapsed. So it's not like the concrete is a better example. In a region bordering Tibet, there was a huge earthquake, and most of the buildings there in the city was built with concrete, and they all collapsed, as you can see in the picture. So what we are trying to do is create a supply chain where where bamboo becomes a mainstream material, and so it becomes accepted. So we are working in a very small private scale. We don't have big industries like China, Taiwan, or India. It's very small industry, and we don't have a very built supply chain either. So most of we have, there's no monoculture of bamboo production. Bamboo are usually produced in small scale in household production in the homestead. So there are different species of bamboo, about 54 species of bamboo. Some are big, some are small. So what we're trying to do is not go through the industrial route, because of the economy, we cannot support that kind of system. So we are using bamboo in its raw form, in its column state, round form, build structures. So I'll show you some of the buildings that we built before the earthquake. So we are using, here's an example of a community center. Yeah. So this uses a round bamboo, and it's we treat it using a high pressure treatment, using boron and borax, and we've developed certain joints so then you can build these structures. So these are some of the buildings we did before the earthquake and which survived the earthquake. The next image you see here is this school. This was built. This happened to lie right at the epicenter of the earthquake. The magnitude of the earthquake was 7.8, and this building, with its bamboo frame, bamboo structure, bamboo roof, survived that. It was the only building that survived the whole in the whole village. So that gave us a lot of credibility. It's finally government started to listen to us. They because it was a proof of concept. It was proof that using local materials you can build schools, you can build community centers that are earthquake friendly, that are environment friendly, and that is also affordable. So what we did after that is we did a design of a 2-room classrooms, which can be replicated throughout the country. So this is a modular design which you put like 2 of them, and according to the landscape, in different permutation, you can increase. And this was built with bamboo and earth, the walls. And this was probably the first time in the region where earth and bamboo is recognized by the government and is approved by the government. So here is a interior of the classroom layout. We put very thick walls because the climate here can get very extreme. So with these thick walls, it provides thermal mass, and then we have insulated bamboo insulated roof, bamboo truss. So if there is an earthquake, it works as a spring. So you can twist and come back to shape. And then we're using non-toxic paint and all the materials that are locally sourced. None of the materials come from more than, say, 100 kilometers. Everything is so. This was a new effort to build schools, and then we did and then so we put this as a design as open source design. So that means anyone can go to our website and then they can download the design and then they can build on their own. So it was a very private initiative, and despite this, I'm very happy to say that there's a lot of people copied this design and they built. Even though there was a big money coming for the other materials like steel, which was getting subsidized, and also bricks. Despite this, we could build about 25 schools. If the government was more supportive, I think we could build hundreds of schools. But despite this, we built about more than 20 schools, and also the brick. So we put all the designs to how to make bricks, how to make bamboo, how to make joints. It was all put on the website, and people could just go copy those designs and build on their own. Some of the designs we built ourselves. Some people did. Sometimes they modified the design. But that was the aspect of the open source design. And here are some of the examples of built classroom. Here's a classroom. As you can see, the main wall, the structure wall, is made with earth, and it's then reinforced at certain critical points. And then the roof itself, the roof truss, is made with bamboo. The roof, the furniture, the windows, the doors, everything was built locally using bamboo. Here's the interior of the classroom, like a bamboo, and so you see all these black axes. These are metal joints, so it was easy. So you could take this bamboo, treated bamboo, they come like treated, and then you cut them into pieces, and then you have this metal joints which you can connect, and that creates a lot of tension to hold this structure. We did a lot of tests of this building of this joint in a local university, and one joint was able to take up to 3 tons of load, which is much more than what we need. And uh, the the furniture here that you see is also bamboo, so which you can stack on top. You can join them together, and then the tabletop is made with a whiteboard, so you, kids can draw on it. So a very successful model. And what I can say is that this gave a lot of credibility into the material. Before the earthquake, bamboo was considered to be in the fringes. Not many people were interested. And then we did. If you look at the analysis, the financial analysis of this, only 11% of the materials come from outside, from India or China or other countries, and 89% of the budget is local budget. 54% goes in the material and 35% on the labor. And I call them like good costs because all these costs, no matter what the cost is, it is staying with the community. Community is making profit. It's not some third party or organizations that are doing it. And similarly, we did like small houses like this. Very affordable, like beautiful houses too. Like that. People. Nepal is a very tourist intensive country. So a lot of tourists come here, and these houses like have one room dedicated as homestay, where so they can come and make extra money. And after the earthquake, one of the biggest achievement, as I said, was a proof of concept and acceptability. So here you see this is a library that we did in Kathmandu. So this is a public library built with bamboo, earth, and it's built right in the center of Kathmandu. So it was like a big vindication of our philosophy. That like you can build a modern house, modern structure that will meet all the regulations, that is earthquake friendly, and that can serve a modern function. So we built this library. Here's more photos. This is from the outside. It's a 2-story building. It's a huge hall. And we won. We were shortlisted. We are the finalists of the Global Emerging Architect Award for our buildings. So our focus is more in making public spaces. It's another school that we just finished. It's a 2-story earth and bamboo school. It's really this lies in a very hot and temperate, extreme weather conditions. We don't have any built-in air conditioning. It's the whole temperature regulates. We did a test, and inside temperature doesn't go beyond. It stays between 22 to 26 degrees. So here's another view of the school. Like this is this recent complete school. So here you see we have a second floor made of bamboo, which is very lightweight, and also works structurally because this works to reinforce the first building. The second floor works as a diaphragm to hold the first building together. Here's the inside of the classroom. A lot of colors, a lot of natural colors, natural wood. We did not use any synthetic paint. So like this, when you enter this classroom, you have a very beautiful earthy smell when you enter, and there's a lot of breeze, sort of like yeah. So here's other structure, and so another. So as I said, we are like we're not just building, but we're creating a supply chain. We have a lot of we have about 200 artisans in our watershed, so they who are engaged in this enterprise, and so we're building like we're looking for different ways to incorporate them, like make new products that have modern values. So here's a bamboo bicycle that we use, which is an electric bamboo bicycle. You can see. So yeah, I think short on time. So with this, one slide. There's a lot of women's participation also. We use machineries, but machineries that are only needed if for example, the treatment machine. It's a big industrial machine, but rest we use power tools, so we empower people to build on their own, right? So I'd like to end with this slide here. If anyone's interested. So what we want to recap, saying like, yeah, we want to build a supply chain where farmers are engaged in the process along